still using the EM1 and the 12-50 lens. Although white balance is set mostly on cloudy, I was saving to raw, probably changing it in post-production. No exposure bias this time. Not really necessary, as I spot meter to give me more exposure control, helped by the electronic finder in the EM1. You could argue that with this shot, there's not much in the way of subject matter. It was a grab shot inspired by lighting that has created layers of colour in the landscape. In Adobe Lightroom, I played around with shadow and black sliders, preserving detail in the trees without reducing the impact of the dark cloud. Not exactly landscape, but I include this town shot to show the type of image that achieves publication. Was not the kind of shot I would normally include in a camera club competition, there does remain an element of composition in the way the view is framed. I love photographing ancient structures. This wonderful bridge spans the River Arun, once navigable from the sea via the River Wey to the Thames. I found out later that I was standing on private ground, oh dear, adjacent to the car park, where I should have been. The car park serves a pub out of shot on the right, which I incidentally I can recommend. This is the north side of St. Bartolph's Church. It's near Pulborough. Therefore, it doesn't receive much light unless you pay it a visit in June or July, perhaps later in the day. I spot meter near the top of the church, close to the sky, to preserve its detail, and then lighten the church in post-production. There is quite a surprise inside the church, which was the reason I paid a visit. The ancient wall paintings, with one showing Adam and Eve, are very well preserved. Oh, go on, Derek, show it. Large expanses of water, lakes or rivers, look their best with a reflection, and success is down to weather. This is the River Ribble, which finds its birth in the Yorkshire Dales, before making its journey through Lancashire to reach the Irish Sea near Preston, which was raised to city status in 2002. It is the reflection that makes this shot, a scene otherwise difficult to make something of without it, all enhanced by an early afternoon October sun with a hint of autumn. The lake is artificial, the area formerly used for the excavation of clay for brick-making, now transformed into a nature reserve. You will find it just outside Preston. Stone Arthur. That's the name of the mountain you can see there, or fell as they are locally known. The viewpoint is Grasmere village. The fell's height is modest, 1,652 feet in old money, and over the years I have climbed most of them, including Scawfell Pike, England's highest mountain. This was taken on my last walk just before COVID. My objective was Sergeant Man in the Langdales, approached from Far Easdale, quite a long walk, for which the EM1 and 12-50 lens was invaluable. I have always liked this shot, looking down Far Easdale, where I've come from, and as you can see, the day was perfect. The lone tree complementing the composition, giving a sense of scale. This is near the top, the summit reaching 2,414 feet, and I am looking back over Gibson Knott, that's the name of the fell incidentally, to Helvellyn and Fairfield, some of the highest fells in the Lake District. Although I can still walk long distances, at 80 I am now finding the craggy tops of mountains difficult to traverse, which in my younger days I would hop over from peak to peak. This photograph has achieved that rare distinction of crossing the divide between artistic and commercial, doing well in competitions and getting published. I am looking over Stickle Tarn. Pavey Ark is that great mass on the right, and in the distance the Coniston group of fells, Wetherlam and Old Man. I knew and met Alfred Wainwright, the guidebook writer, on several occasions, and he dedicated his South Wales sketchbook to me. I have paid several visits to Dover Castle, and this view is a favourite. It is balanced by being framed by the walls, and the church makes an effective focal point. Of course, you need the right kind of day with sufficient clarity to see the English Channel and, if you are really lucky, France. Until recently, I hadn't made many trips into Suffolk. This is the River Deben, and in the distance is Woodbridge on my hit list for the next episode of Just Landscapes. In choosing these images for this retrospective survey, I was surprised that I stuck with the 12-50 lens originally marketed with the EM5. It is much better than often made out. I have used some of the images in high-quality publications, such as calendars. As 80 approaches, size and weight of a camera becomes increasingly important, something I quickly realized when doing that long walk up Far Eastdale to Sergeant Man, and just to remind you, 2,414 feet above sea level. I might get into trouble now, but I wonder how many landscape photographers half my age would have come with me.